I thought being vegan was for white people. Truly. I couldn't fathom not eating meat, not eating dairy, not eating seafood. I'm like, this must be some white people shit. And then I found out that there were Black vegans. And then I would like for you to close your eyes and I would like for you to envision, right? I would like for you to visualize the stereotypical Black vegan. So, okay, let's do it together. My eyes are closed. Join me. So I thought skinny in terms of body type, smaller frame. I thought locks, gotta have some locks, preferably with some sort of gemstone in the locks, right? Keep your eyes closed. Let's keep envisioning. I envision bohemian chic type dresses. I thought for sure incorporated head wraps. I thought definitely no acrylic nails, no earrings, lit sage, home smells of incense, and the skin was infused with shea butter. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That you can open your eyes now. That is the vision of a Black vegan to me, or that was the vision of a Black vegan to me. So I asked myself, because I made the decision to be vegan due to my health concerns, which was all laid out in episode 1, I made that decision due to my fibroids. And I was like, all right, here we are. We're going to just tap into this lifestyle. And I did it slowly but surely, right? So in December of 2017, I was like, boom, we're going to cut out meat. I'm going to be a pescatarian. And then I realized that I can be a vegetarian. I was like, I don't need the seafood in my life. And then I was like, fuck it, if you're gonna be a vegetarian, you might as well take it all the way and be vegan. And so that has been my life since August 2019. But when I went through my surgical process and I'm navigating recovery, I asked myself, should I still be vegan? Do I still want to be vegan? Because I'm the type of vegan, y'all, who loves the smell of fried chicken. Baby. I'm the vegan who can definitely go hang out with the meat eaters, the seafood eaters, and be like, that smells good. That looks good. You enjoying that. Love that for you. Compersion. Love to see people enjoy themselves. Like, I'm that girl. But let's take it on back. Let's take it on back, shall we? So in 2010, I had really bad adult acne. Like, it's interesting because I didn't have acne like that when I was in high school, which that would have been great because I would have been joining everybody else who had acne at that time. But I graduated college in 2009. Later that year and early in 2010, early in 2010, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a vegan diet. And then I realized that there were not many options for me to be vegan. So then I said, all right, let me be, and I'm in Brooklyn, East New York. I'm like, let me be vegetarian, right? I still have some dairy. Let me be vegetarian. So I go to Fine Fair Supermarket. Okay, Brooklyn, my Brooklyn people know the vibes. Fine Fair Supermarket. And I tell the person, I was like, hey, like, I'm looking for a veggie burger. And he looks at me like, veggie burger? He was like, turkey burger? I was like, nope, definitely said veggie burger, but veggie burger. He was like, nah, we don't got that. And, I named that because food justice is super important in this conversation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up, because we all have the right as humans to have access to healthy food. We should. We should have the right to have access to, the type of farmers markets, the healthy produce, the non-expired produce. We should have access to having a variety of different lifestyles catered to, even when you from the hood. So even if you shop at Fine Fair or Seatown or any one of them hood stores, you deserve access to these things. and I did not have access. And so then I said, well, I got to eat, right? I'm not able to eat within my community, and that's not fair. So then I just abandoned that and kept breaking out because I was reading about, cutting out meat, cutting out dairy, all these different things would help with skincare and things like that. And I was not able to sustain it. Right. And so I'm like, no, I don't want to go get on a train, to a fancy, more high end supermarket that's outside of my hood. Like, I should be able to get my vegan snacks at the corner store, my vegan snacks at the bodega, a fucking veggie burger at the damn supermarket. Like, these are things that if I want to engage in them, I should have access to them. It shouldn't just be me going to how my mom used to say, the white people neighborhood to get the good stuff. That's wild. So yeah, look into food justice, y'all. Look into it. So I attempted in 2020, so I'm saying 2010, y'all. Does anybody else still do that? Because if you still do that, you are not alone. You can just listen back to this podcast and say, Jules says 2010 often, unapologetically. It's all good. So I tried in 2010. And like I said, it failed. And, I think about family, as well, and cultural connection. And, my family, both my parents are Haitian. And so I grew up in this Caribbean household. And food is a way to connect to people. And for my Caribbeans out there and Black folks in general, but I'm specifically bringing Caribbean people to the front. We know that it is rude. It is rude, mad rude, to go to someone's house and not eat what they offer you. To not eat what they offer you. It is rude. It's disrespectful. Now, fun story. So remember I told y'all December 2017, I cut out meat, right? A couple weeks after I did that, I had went to my grandmother, my paternal grandmother. At the time, she's now deceased, but at the time, she greets me at the door sweaty. And everybody know you was cooking good if you sweaty, had the house dress on. And she was so excited to see me. I hadn't seen her in a long time. And she was like, I made your favorite. Right. Which I knew from there. I was like, there's some meat on this plate. She was like, I made your favorite. And I was working at it all day to get it just right for you. And I did not have the heart. I didn't have the heart to tell my grandmother at the time, who I rarely saw. And whenever she saw me, her eyes would light up. Baby, no one looked at me with the joy of Olga Cadet. Come on. The joy just through the roof. And so I made a decision right then and there. I was like, I'm going to eat this food my grandmother gave me. I know I don't eat meat. So I was like, Grandma, I don't eat meat anymore. And she looked at me alarmed, like, what? And I was like, I don't eat meat anymore, but I'm going to eat this because I know you put a lot of love into this. And so I'm going to eat it. And I had a little bite. And I'm glad I took that bite, y'all, because that was the last time she ever cooked for me. And I named that because food is a connection. And there was no way I was going to tell my sweaty grandmother that I wasn't going to eat her food. I just wasn't going to do that. And so, when I was walking out, she said, the next time I cook for you, I'll make some seafood, right? Because then I was still eating seafood. And I looked at her and I smiled. And I reflect on that memory. And it's so heartfelt to me because I know that I express appreciation and gratitude for my grandmother by eating her food, by eating that meat, eating that Haitian meat. And so I'm grateful that I did that, and that's something that I do miss that I don't. So while I do love the smell of fried chicken, I don't miss eating meat. I don't miss actually eating seafood, although I love the aesthetic and the look and the aroma of a good seafood boil. That should be looking good. I don't miss those things, but I do miss the connection because I have met people and they're like, oh, I would like to cook for you. Like, And I'm like, well, I'm vegan. And they're like, what's that? So also the number of people who also just don't know what it means to eat vegan. Fun fact, when I moved to Atlanta, which I'll get to what it's like being vegan in the South, but I'll never forget one of the first houses that I went to. I was like, yeah, I'm vegan. And, so if we're going to have like brunch or whatever, I got to have something to eat. So, no dairy, whatever. They was like, oh, I got you. It was like, I got turkey bacon. You know what I'm saying? I got eggs. I was like, what? None of these things are vegan. Like, what are you talking about? So it's difficult because people don't really know what it means, which understandable. I thought it was for white people. So I get it. But we're in 2024 and I'm gonna need us to move it along, right? In terms of like understanding the terms. But it is hard to connect to people being vegan. I have friends who I would love to. I'm like, let's go out to eat. Like, let's do it. Like, I love it. I love to chill with my friends. I really do. And especially now that I'm in Atlanta, I don't have community in the same way. So when friends come to visit or, anything like that, it feels good to connect. It just does. But people don't always want to make the accommodation for the vegan friend. They just don't. Sometimes people are very much like, I want to eat this way and I don't want to do the vegan things. And, it's interesting because before I was vegan, not only did I have these like stereotypes in my head as to what race vegans were and the aesthetic of Black vegans, I had friends who were vegan and I would hear them talk about these struggles and I wasn't able to relate. I was like, it ain't that bad. And that was in New York where it's definitely a lot more food diverse. So you are able to, depending on where you at, clearly not East New York, clearly not Brooklyn, East New York. I ain't talking about y'all. But if you go to certain areas like in Manhattan and things like that, like you could find some vegan dinners, restaurants and stuff like that, vegan dinners in the grocery store. If you want to just pop it in the microwave, like it's accessible. But I would hear them say, Jewel, I want to hang out with you, but you chose a spot that I can't eat at. And I would be like, okay, well, just eat something. Find something to eat off this menu. You could find something. It's a salad. No, vegans deserve more than a lettuce option. We deserve more than fries. And truly, we deserve more than an Impossible Burger. Like, get it together. And so my heart really goes out to those friends who I didn't make space for. Those friends who I was like, oh, she's vegan. It's going to be a lot to hang out with her. So I'm just not going to hit her up as often as I would my other friends who were not vegan. And now, fast forward, I'm the friend. I'm the friend who people second guess if they want to hang out with in terms of eating food because they're like, I don't want to go to a vegan restaurant. And high key, not low key, high key, that shit hurts my feelings, yo. That shit hurts my fucking feelings. So I'm in an era of my life where if I look at the menu and it doesn't have the adequate amount of vegan options for me, I'm just not going. I'm just not. And so that means that I'm going to probably not have those same types of friendships in those ways because food is a way to connect. If you go to a party, you go to a house party, somebody invites you over, eating. You go to a baby shower, we eating. We go to a wedding, we eating. Like people be eating when they hang out. And I'm like, I'm at a point right now where it's like, no, we don't have to go to a exclusive vegan restaurant. But like, if I don't have options outside of salad, fries, and an Impossible Burger, I'm not coming. I'm not. Because honestly, I look at it as you don't see me and you don't respect me. And I feel for those friends, like I said, who I didn't see and I didn't respect in those ways. And I'm like, if you're listening to this, I see you, I am you, because I'm definitely experiencing that. And I'm at a point right now where the boundary is strong. Like, if you know that I'm vegan, if you're my friend, you know that I'm vegan and you don't make space for that and you don't, then I guess we just not hanging out straight like that. So let's talk about being vegan in the South because, I'm a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? I'm a New Yorker. What's up? And being in the South as a vegan is not the same as being up north or in Cali or something like that. Like, there is some sort of meat in all types of things. You're like, wait, what? Why is meat in here? Like, this, okay. And let me tell you something. I'm also not, and it may sound judgy throughout this episode, but don't read it like that because that's not what it's given. I truly do believe that if you want to put meat in everything that you do, do it. It's autonomy. I'm not the judgy vegan. Like I said, I can go out with meat eaters. I'm not even married to a vegan. Like, it's not a thing for me. I'm just saying that of a menu can have a section, let's say 5 to 6 items. 5 to 6 items can be vegan friendly. That's what I'm saying. So let's do some story time. I was on a road trip type vibe in Alabama. I believe it was Alabama. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Alabama. And I'm like, all right, we go to this spot or whatever. And there was an Impossible Burger on the menu. So I'm like, all right. Once again, didn't I say Impossible Burger, salad, or fries? And I was like, fuck it, I'll have the Impossible Burger. And so I told the lady, I'm like, I'm vegan, so I'm gonna have the Impossible Burger. I want to have it with this on the side, whatever, whatever. And she's like, okay, so we can do the salad for you. However, I'm gonna have to refund you the money because the person in the back who's in the kitchen said that they're not gonna clean off the grill. So the Impossible Burger won't really be vegan. It'll have some other residue from the meat. So we're not gonna clean the grill. And this is the white woman saying this. This is in Alabama. I'm a Black woman. And it was something about this white woman telling me as a Black woman that I can't eat there. And I want you to think about this historically. I want you to think about what it feels like for Black people to have a history of not being able to eat at establishments. And so now, while it was not due to my race, it was due to my vegan lifestyle, my vegan dietary lifestyle. And I named that because even though I was able to have another option somewhere else, I wasn't able to eat there. And this is what it comes down to, is that I deserve as a vegan to eat anywhere. I deserve that. I'm not saying that I need to exclusively go to a vegan restaurant. I'm just saying that being in the South and being vegan is hard. Now, people might be listening. Well, there's Slutty Vegan, and there's this vegan, and there's that place that's vegan. Yes, 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 and yes, and yes. And we also know that being vegan is not synonymous with being healthy. You can be vegan and have fast food, processed food. And I'm not saying I'm a healthy girl. Okay, I'll have some chips. I might be like, let me dabble with some soda from time to time. Let me get some soy products. Like, but I'm just naming that I want the option to be vegan in a way that works for if I want to be on my processed bag, or if I want to be on my natural plant-based bag, like, allow me to be able to eat. There's often times, like the other day, at the belt line, and I'm like, okay, was like, go to the belt line and like be with the puppy, and it's beautiful, and we're scooting, and it's like, oh, let's do lunch. And it's like, I'm so limited on where to eat. And so we walked past a few places and I couldn't eat at these places. And I wanted to have a Beltline experience with the puppy outside eating. Yeah, I wanted that, couldn't have that in the ways that other people were able to have it. It's not only the South. Let me name that. It's not only the South. I went to Cali, and even in areas of Cali, wasn't able to have a vegan friendly diet. I went to a place one time. It was like a conference type vibe. And they knew that I was vegan. This was shared with them. And I wasn't able to eat vegan. The person in the kitchen, I was like, I'm vegan, where the vegan things? Direct me. He said, there's a bagel that you can have, there's some fruit, and there's some syrup. Now, I don't know what he thought I was about to do. I don't know if he thought I was going to put the fruit inside the bagel, dip it in the syrup. I don't know what he thought, but I sat at the table and I cried. And I'm naming this not for anybody to feel sorry for me or not for anybody to like start creating, well, you could have and you should have and you could have because honestly, that's not what this is about. This is about listening, empathizing, understanding, access to food. And that we know that we live in a world where it's like, okay, some people are gluten free, some people have nut allergies, some people have XYZ, right? We live in that kind of world, but it's something about being vegan, even in 2024, that I feel extremely limited. I truly do. And that was one of the reasons why I contemplated, do I still want this life? Do I still want this? Do I want this hard life? Or do I want a soft life? And so we'll get to that towards the end because I have been asking myself, should I still be vegan? Now, traveling while being vegan, right? I explained the different, times I've went into places and they didn't have the things that I needed in order for me to be able to eat and feel sustained. And I'm just like, y'all, I don't want to just have impossible, all the time. I don't want to just have pasta all the time. I want variety. I deserve variety. And traveling while being vegan can be really difficult because if you think about road tripping, let's take road tripping and then let's do airport. Road tripping, you stop fast food restaurants. Come on now. I want you to take a second or three and think about 3 fast food restaurants that cater to a vegan diet. Mm-hmm. Did you only just think about Burger King and the Impossible Whopper? Is that the only thing you thought about? Yeah. Yeah. So traveling makes it hard. And then if you want to get snacks, that's difficult too. Right? Not everybody want to walk around with carrot sticks and celery in their bag. It's just I want I want to be able to have variety. Right? Then let's talk about the airport. Let's talk about the airport. At the airport, I want you to think about if you were vegan, do this next time you're at the airport. Pretend to be vegan. Pretend. You don't got to actually go through with it, but pretend. And I want you to think about and look through what are the options at the airport that cater to a vegan diet. The restaurants. Think about the snacks. Do that next time. Because, homework. Do it. And I want you to think about that. And so that's another, should I still be vegan? Right? I mean, listen, as you can see, the reasons are reasoning. Okay? The reasons are reasoning. And so the answer is I have decided to remain vegan. And the reason why I have decided to remain vegan is I realized that one, even though I love the smell of some fried chicken, I love that smell. Let me just close my eyes and just smell it with me, yo. Smell it with me. Fried chicken. Ashe. Ashe. While I love the smell, I don't crave it in my body. I don't crave it. If I was to accidentally eat it, I'm spitting it out automatically. And there has been many a time, especially in the South, there's been many a time where I've told people I'm vegan and they put chicken at the bottom of the thing. Or they're like, oh, this is Benihana's had me fucked up. They like, oh, this is a vegan soup. It wasn't, it had beef broth. What's going on? Okay. And I gotta go to the manager and I gotta be like, my food needs to be comped. What's up? And I name that because I don't really have a craving for it. I don't. And I like how being vegan feels in my body. I have more energy. I just feel I still be breaking out. Remember I told y'all I try to be, cut out those things when I had like a lot of acne in 2010. And even though I don't have acne in no same way, I still break out. I do break out less for sure. I just feel better. And the answer is, how do you feel? How do you feel when you eat meat? If you feel good, continue. How do you feel? And I don't mean the taste, y'all. I ain't talking about the taste. I'm talking about, how do you feel? Do you feel tired after? Okay, because we don't call it the itis for nothing. Do you feel tired after? Do you got to run to the bathroom? Run, 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 run. Do you got to run to the bathroom every time you have ice cream? How do you feel? If those things don't impact you, keep it cute. Whatever you doing, stay doing it. Keep it cute. For me, I was like, even though I started out being vegan due to this health concern, I am deciding to be vegan and remain vegan post the hysterectomy, post the fibroids, because I like how it makes my body feel. I also think about food justice and the access of just like, I deserve. It feels very activist based. I'm like, I deserve to be able to eat like this. And I do think about the people who maybe they want to be vegan and they don't have access. And so there is a part of me that's like, I'm doing something that I wasn't able to do then. I'm doing something that maybe my ancestors didn't have as an option or thought. I'm able to be creative. So, for example, I'm Haitian, right? So, soup jumeau, that's our Independence Day food, okay? Now, I always had it that involved meat. I always had it in a way that involved meat. And being vegan allowed me to be creative and still tap in with my culture. So now on January 1st, I make vegan soup jumeau. I get to be creative with my meals. It does allow me to cook more and be more creative in the kitchen and be like, dang, I really miss this as a comfort food, but let me just substitute it and just make that comfort food vegan. But this is about autonomy, y'all. The Power Portal is about autonomy. So, fun fact, that's going to be the theme for all the episodes. Do what feels good for you. If you are vegan like me, don't be the type of vegan that tries to convince everybody to be vegan. Because let me tell you something. I do not go from door to door. I don't go to door to door. I don't go from DM to DM preaching the good word about being vegan. I don't do it. I just explain what it does for me. I explain how I enjoy it. Right? I have a friend of mine who told me that being vegan for her, she hated it. And especially when you think how if it's often linked to maybe being forced to be vegan, like, right, if you're with someone and they want you to be vegan or anything like that, there's also an emotional piece around that. And she was like, I stopped being vegan and I eat meat now and I look good and I feel good. So I'm like, oh, sis, that sounds like this is for you. It's about how you feel. Now, you will have the vegans who's like, I'm 85 years old and I can do a 3-minute plank. I never had no acne. You got the vegans who's like, I cured cancer in my body because I don't eat the meat and the dairy. You got the people who's like, I'm an animal activist and I don't eat. Listen, people have to do what works for them. Any dietitian or anything like that will tell you to think about the foods that make you feel happy, to think about how it makes you feel. A food journal isn't just writing out what you ate, but you can also incorporate how you felt after you ate it. Did it feel hard to digest? Do you go regularly? How are your bowel movements regular? What's up? What's up? Right? And so for me, I think about if you've ever done a detox, they'll say, cut out meat, cut out dairy. They'll also say cut out processed foods. They'll also say cut out sugar. Let me be very clear. This is not, like I said, vegan is not synonymous with being healthy. That's not what we're saying here. But there are certain things that they will say that does mimic a vegan diet when you detox. And so when you think about the foods that we take in our body, and how a vegan lifestyle does come along with a regular detoxification, it's pretty fucking powerful. That's pretty fucking dope if you ask me. If you ask me. And so once again, if you're listening to this and you eat meat and you love it, do it. If you're listening to this and you love your dairy, because baby, that mac and cheese is for you, do it. If you're listening to this and you're like, I love seafood, crab legs with the bib because the juices be dripping, wait a minute, do it. If you crave it and it makes you feel good, look good, all of that, do it. And if you are considering being vegan, try it. And you can assess. You can always think about if it works for your body. There are people who chose to be vegan and then they chose something else after. That's okay. And then there's people who chose to be vegan and never went back. And that's okay too. And it's also okay to be a vegan who's not perfect, because let me tell you something, I've messed up many a time. Many a time. Salad dressing. I ain't think to look in the back of a salad dressing. I'm like, it's salad dressing. Egg yolk in it. I'm like, damn. This thing says dairy free, but then that one thingy actually is a milk derivative. I'm like, damn. I am not a perfect vegan. I'm not. But once again, it's not about perfectionism. And I do believe that we have the right to have a healthy lifestyle. And I also believe that if you want to go, because let me say something, no. If you want to go grab your snacks that's processed, if you want to go get your processed things and do your processed things, do your processed things. So for me, one time for the one time, in answer to the question, should I be vegan? One, it ain't on y'all to answer. It's on me. And I choose to still be vegan because that's my power to make the decision. So thank y'all for tapping into the power portal.